Ladies and gentlemen, may I please request all of you to clap loudly and appreciate the presence of Mr. Manoj Adlakha, CEO and founder, RedBeryl Lifestyle Services. Give it up for him loudly, please, ladies and gentlemen. The first session post-lunch, always very difficult to get people going in, but I believe you all can show some energy and love because he's taken his time out there to be with us. Thank you so much, and over to you, sir. Pleasure.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me? Okay, super. So, as always, any post-lunch session is a little dull and not something which too many people look forward to. That's why half the audience is not here, but that's all right. Those of you who are here, I hope you enjoy what I would intend to share with you over the next 15 or 20 minutes, because that's what I'm told I have to talk about. One of the interesting things that stuck out for me when, the numbers which was in a very impressive AV that I was seeing over here, was about the PR market. And I'm told there are a lot of PR professionals out here. The PR market in India, as per that AV that I just saw, was expected to be, I think, if I get it right, if I saw it right, it was about $20 billion. That's a pretty stupendous number. I want to put this in a little bit of context and share with you what the luxury market in India is. And that's what I'm going to talk to you a bit about. It's all about, while I'm going to talk to you, about the strategic communication, specifically in the field of luxury. But let's start with luxury. The luxury market in India is booming. It's booming at a pace which is unheard of and unparalleled. The luxury market in India in 2023 calendar year was $30 billion. That's pretty big, right? And whether you look at Bain, you look at KPMG, you look at Deloitte, you look at, another two, Pricewater, another 4 or 5, BCG, Boston Consulting, they've all given estimates of where and how the luxury market is going to grow and by when. And interestingly, the estimates almost fall into the same range, right? Which is that from the $30 billion, which it was or it is in 2023, it is expected to grow within the next 3 to 4 years to $100 billion in India. Now, that's unheard of, but we are headed there. And within that, another very interesting statistic, some of you may be aware, some may not. The number of billionaires, dollar billionaires in India, I don't know if there anyone in this room who are a part of that, but that number, and it's, as we know, income is, reported in a particular fashion in India. But the number of dollar billionaires, reported dollar billionaires in India in 2023 was 135. Now, billionaires, I'm not talking about millionaires. So $135 billionaires were there in India. That number is expected to double over the next 3 to 4 years, right? The last statistic, which I'm going to give you regarding the luxury market, is when you look at the affluent households, and affluent households are those, which are defined wherein the household income is over $30 million. $30 million is about 300 crores. That's a lot of money, right? That was, again, as of last year, and these are, published numbers, was about 14,000 households. That number in the next 2 to 3 years is expected to grow to 20,000. So the market is booming. It is exploding, and we are all a part of, you in your respective roles as a part of the PR community have a big role to play over there in, showcasing India. Because India is, whether it's on the travel front, tourism front, and, post-COVID, people have changed. The mindset has changed in a dramatic way. And a lot of that has had a very positive, whether it's aviation or otherwise, has had a very positive rub-off on the luxury market. So I wasn't here to talk about that, but I just took off from, the number I saw. And that's why I thought I'd just put it in a little bit of context about how big is the luxury market in India. As you can see over there, I founded this company called RedBeryl. I've had 3 decades of experience prior to that, working with, out of the 34 years that I worked, 30 years were with American Express, and out of which about the last 10 years, I was the CEO for American Express in India, dealing with affluent customers, ultra HNIs, and I found that there was an opportunity regarding the, the problem statement was all about how can you serve them better and bring all your assets under one roof so that that customer doesn't need to go anywhere else. So what RedBeryl is, let me start with what RedBeryl is not. RedBeryl is not a concierge company. RedBeryl is not a credit card company. But what it does is it combines and meshes the best of the credit card features on premium cards and the best of what is available on the concierge, and then brings it together to provide the HNIs, which are the high net worth individuals, and the ultra HNIs, a solution through a set of dedicated relationship managers, a 24/7 concierge, wherein every need of theirs, as long as it's not illegal, immoral, or unethical, is met. And we do this, we've just, less than a year old. We're right now present in about 6 cities. And what I feel good about is, for a lifestyle card, which is, we have 2 kinds of cards. One is by invitation, which is the red card. And one is the black card, which is a card for everyone. The red card comes in at a price point of 7 lakhs. And the black card comes in at a price point of 2.5 lakhs, which is not a small amount. And on top of that, you have to add GST at 18%. But we have got now hundreds and hundreds of customers who have signed up with us. There must be something we are doing right. So I feel good about that. And it's not my job. Only thing I gave was a bit of a vision to what we wanted to do over here. And the team that we managed, so I have a team of about 30 people in-house and then a lot of outsourced. The entire concierge team is outsourced. So those are the people who have made this happen. And right now we are only in 6 cities, but we have a very, very clear and robust plan that before the end of the year, we will be in at least 3 or 4 more countries where there is a need, as has been expressed, whether it's a Dubai, whether it's a Singapore, whether it's a London, we will be there by the end of this year. So basically what RedBeryl does, like I said, it's a luxury lifestyle company where luxury meets unparalleled experiences. So it's all about curating experiences for a customer and ensuring that we come good on what we are promising. So what we do is we craft bespoke, and by bespoke I mean something which is not traditional. We take into account the inputs from a customer, and basis that we come up with bespoke experiences for them. This could straddle across travel. A lot of people, those of you who have traveled in the last few days, few months, last few quarters, when you go to an airport, look at how a domestic or an international airport, they're crowded, whether it's in India or overseas. People, and this is a trend which has even become more prominent and prevalent post-COVID, because I think that 3 years people being locked in, who did not have an opportunity to travel, suddenly found that traveling is a good thing to do. It is, like I said, changed the mindset of a lot of people, whether they're working or self-employed. And they're saying there's much more to life than just jobs. And they want to enjoy life, they want to enjoy the finer things of life, and they want to enjoy, new experiences. And that's where RedBeryl comes in. The other thing which has exploded is the fine dine piece. People want good, who doesn't here? I mean, I heard, the gentleman before me ask about what did you enjoy in your meal? People love fine dine experiences, right? By fine dine experiences, butter chicken definitely, qualifies as one. But we also talk about Michelin star restaurants. We're talking about when you go to a London, or you go to a Paris, or you go to, New York, or you, let's say, go to Dubai, or even anywhere in India. You would want a very, very good, just getting a booking at times takes as long as 2 to 3 months. And that's where RedBeryl steps in. So we provide experiences, We help the customer decide. We give options. It's all about choices. We provide choice and flexibility. We let a customer decide where they would like to go, and then we go ahead and help them with the bookings, which otherwise would have taken 2 months. We do it within 2 weeks, sometimes within a week, and sometimes, depending on the network that we have, it could be even sooner than that. Then there's a team that I have in-house, which is doing nothing but creating strategic alliances. And now those strategic alliances could be with other, travel agents, could be with airlines, with hotels, with restaurants, with wellness companies, and the benefits of those. So whether it's an HNI, ultra HNI, who's ready to pay, 7 lakhs, 10 lakhs, 8 lakhs, whatever X amount, but they're value seekers also. They want very good service, but they also want good benefits coming their way. So through these alliances, what we do is we provide best-in-class deals to these customers. And just another feature, I'm just staying with some of the key facets of what the value proposition or the pillars that we have for our customers. Another pillar is that we provide access to 3,000 social and golf clubs across the world. So think of it, those of you, all of you I assume here are based in Delhi, any club that you can think of, other than maybe one or two, which are very, very difficult to get by, let's say, Delhi Gymkhana Club or a Delhi Golf Club. But if you want to go to a Vasant Vihar Club, you want to become, you want to have access to Anand Niketan Club, a Defense Colony Club, a Gulmohar Park Club, or a Niti Bagh Club. I'm just naming a few in South Delhi because that's where I live, and I'm very, very familiar with that. Or if you're a golfer, you want to go to ITC, JP, and others. All of those you get access to. You don't have to pay for that. You don't have to become a member. If you go to Bombay or you're from Bombay and you're familiar with Bombay, there's a club called Joli's. That's just one club. Similarly, if you're in Bangalore, there's a Bangalore Golf Association or a Karnataka Golf Club. Those are the kind of clubs we have associations with, and at no cost to the customer. So, and they can go innumerable number of times. Then another thing for the avid traveler is when the purpose of what we want to do and want to achieve at RedBeryl is to take away the nuisance value. And we want to make the whole customer's experience as seamless as possible. So when you go to a particular airport, right from unfettered access to all domestic lounges in India, so there are 62 lounges that we give access to without any cost, which are the income lounges across 26 cities in India, and about 1,000 lounges globally. So that's a lot, right? After that, I don't think anything is left. So when you're providing this kind of access in terms of lounges, then we provide what is called a meet and assist. So if you're, let's say you're landing at a Heathrow, there will be somebody at the Aero Bridge with your placard welcoming you and your spouse or your partner and taking you in a buggy, walking, guiding you through immigration, guiding you through customs, taking you all the way up to your conveyor belt, getting your luggage out and putting it into the transport, which also, if you want, we can arrange. So idea is to, like I said, take the pain points away and make it a seamless, piece for you. And before that, if there is anyone who wants a visa, we provide, I think, 14 or 15 countries, visa at home services, which can be provided, where even things like biometrics are done at home for you. You don't have to step out. You don't have to go to VFS, stand in line or anything of that, right? And who does all this? We have every customer of ours has a dedicated relationship manager. Also, in the event they do not want to reach out to their RM, relationship manager, they have a 24/7 concierge, which is available across more than 50 countries globally. So there's a lot that goes in. And then, of course, if anyone wants to, we have an app, we have a microsite, so they can, decide to use that. I just want to give one or two examples of how in a relatively young organization like ours, some of the customers have come up with pretty unique requests, and we have managed to fulfill them, which I feel good about. So one request was, there was a customer who is a prominent, we never named the customers. This customer is a prominent lawyer based out of Delhi, very, very prominent lawyer. And he is also an avid car vintage car collector. So within, I think, about a month of his membership, he reached out to our team and said that, I think you guys make a lot of tall promises about doing everything and anything. Can you get me, and this was in 2023 or 24, maybe, whatever, it doesn't matter. And he says, can you get me a 1965, specific, 1965 model Ford Mustang? That's a 60-year-old car. He says, I've been telling, my friends, family, office, everyone to reach out and get me something for the last 3.5 years, and they've not succeeded in doing that. So let's see whether you guys can do it or not. Now, a 60-year-old car, a particular model, Ford Mustang, it's not something which is advertised. It's not like, you go into, Naukri.com or a Shadi.com and or an ad and it's there. These are not things like that, right? This is only because of the network which is available. And if the network that we have, in this case, which we did, and so our team reached out, and these are typically things which are there with the Raja Maharajas in, Udaipur, Jodhpur, and they won't advertise about it. But because of the network, within 48 hours, we managed to source the car and the deal was done. I'm just giving you one example. Another example was where another customer who was very, very keen that, he was getting married and he wanted that the Pope, he gets the Pope's blessings in his wedding in Rome. And again, the concierge team in my organization, they reached out, and the only one thing was that he had to be Catholic, and which he decided to, convert and say yes, and I will do that. And he got, actually, the Pope attended his wedding. So, those are some of the things which are, and I can go on like this. There are many, many, many examples, but these were just one of the examples that I wanted to bring to, bear here. And of course, like, I'm a big cricket fan, I'm a big, concert fan. So whether it's a, Taylor Swift concert, whether it's a Bruce Springsteen concert, whether it's India-Pakistan match in New York, any tickets, last minute, or you want, best-in-class tickets, you want a general category ticket, all that is something which is done by our team day in, day out. The number of requests, even when I was driving here, I got a request from my team that somebody wants it, they're in Switzerland, there's a show which is going on tomorrow, and they want tickets for 8:30 p.m. show, and that was organized. So similarly, F1 and all. So there are a lot of, things which are going on at any point in time or the other. And, and I'm not talking about IPL. I think that's the easiest thing to get your hands on. But anything and everything is something that we provide and we manage to source for our customers. I mentioned about our target audience, and our lifestyle card that we've been talking about is more than just a card. It's really somebody's gateway to a world where luxury knows no bounds. That's the way we look at it. That's our mission statement within the organization. And now let's get on to the topic for the day. I think I probably spent more time on RedBeryl than probably what I should have. But this was a little bit of passion in me trying to share with you about something that, was set up, like I said, less than a year ago, and has exceeded all the expectations that we set for ourselves. It's a one-of-its-kind company. No other company in India has done something like this, which is bringing all these assets together. So strategic communication, to my mind, plays a pivotal and a very, very critical role. It's a key imperative in elevating luxury experiences. It's a key imperative anywhere, but more so when it comes to luxury. And what and how, when, why is it important? Because what it does is it effectively, if done well, that's a very, very important word over here, it conveys the brand's values, exclusivity, and the quality to the discerning audience that there is. Because if you don't succeed in communicating strategically and effectively and efficiently and concisely, you will never be able to win the hearts and the minds and the souls of your customers. We launched our product, which is the company, on 5th of August 2023, which is 11 months ago, at the Oberoi Gurgaon. We had about 250 to 300 Ultra HNI customers we invited. We also invited there were two players that we thought a lot about. We did not have any marketing funds, so how should we go about this? And what we did was we decided that we will fly in. I don't know. Have any one of you heard about the police band here? Yes, just raise your hands. Okay, some of the old timers have. So, like me, I'm a big police fan. So there was, the key drummer of Police is a person called Stuart Copeland. He's won 7 Grammys, including the one in 2023. And so we got him along with a gentleman from India who was, again, does anyone know of anyone in India who's won 3 Grammys? Any guesses? Yes? Yep, absolutely. So we got Ricky and we got Stuart together for the first time playing on Indian soil. Here's one person who was a drummer, who had won 7 Grammys, and Ricky had won 3 Grammys. So between the two of them, they'd won 10 Grammys. And first time ever there was a performance. It was a pulsating performance. It was at the Oberoi Hotel in Delhi. And they played for about an hour and a half, and they had everyone mesmerized with the performance. And that was our way to promote the brand in a way, because like I said, there was no funds, but just getting 250 people into a big convention hall, and of course talking about the product. And the other thing we did was testimonials. So we got some of the industry captains, whether it was a Kapil Dev, whether it was from different fields. So Deep Kalra from Make My Trip, whether it was a Sohail Seth, who's from the PR company, all of you would know him, and whether it was Bonnie Kapoor, Kalyani Chawla, and a big foodie who's got, I think, about 6-7 million followers on Insta. So we got these people to put in, just talk. And at that point in time, the product had not got launched. So all they could talk was about their experiences with little to do with me in my erstwhile organization and wishing us the best. But they were very touching videos, and I think that also helped us in creating a lot of goodwill. So again, as we talk about communication, it has to be done in a very subtle manner, yet in a manner wherein you are managing to capture the hearts and minds of the customer who is your target audience. The visual identity created at that event was unique, and it perfectly captured the essence of what we were trying to do, which is, like I said, the bespoke luxury and personalized services. And eventually, what we were told, it left a lasting impression. And this is what was captured by a leading daily, which was Times of India, the next day. So I'm coming to the end of my presentation, 6 or 7 elements. What are the key elements which are there in key elements or key aspects of strategic communication? The first and foremost is brand storytelling. You've got to get that right. If you're not able to succeed with that or succeed in that, you will lose the plot from day one. And I don't need to educate, because actually it's the other way around. I can be educated by each one of you who's a PR professional here on how and why and how it should be done the way it should be done. So to give you an example, RedBeryl itself, if you were ever to Google it, it is actually, you do the word RedBeryl. Now, luckily for us, the first 2 pages in Google is all about RedBeryl company. But earlier, if you were to Google RedBeryl a year ago, the only thing you would see in the first 2 pages of the Google, search would be around the RedBeryl stone or the RedBeryl gem. It is the most precious gem on the planet. It is found only in Utah, in Salt Lake City, right? And it is, in terms of, when you compare this with gold, it is worth 1,000 times more than gold in weight, and it costs about $50,000 per gram. That's a lot. So it's a very, very expensive and more importantly, a rare jewel. So we have tried to craft this into our, into our storytelling whenever we have spoken about it. And that's how we start any conversations. So, like I said, we wanted to bring a new brand to life. We did it through, the testimonials. We did it through various events that we did with our customers. And I spoke about, what we had in terms of the performance. Second is personalization. Anything which is not personalized, how would you feel, right? When you are sitting somewhere and you get a, communication coming in from the CEO or the CMO or the, whatever, it doesn't matter, or the chief servicing officer of a particular organization, and it's like, dear sir or dear ma'am, and leaves it at that. So at least they're addressing you as dear, they're addressing you, sometimes they don't even get the gender right, but at least they're doing that piece. But that is not personalization. In personalization, you have to go to a level of detail where it's not only about addressing. Addressing is one aspect of personalization. It is a very, very critical aspect of how, you name a person. By either you can choose dear Mr. So-and-so or Mrs. So-and-so, or decide it's, first names are generally not the best way to address a person. Add to that in personalization the individual preferences. So there is a lot of ways and means today, a lot of tools, whether it's AR, VR, everything is available today to figure out what a customer demands from you. And it is for us to leverage those tools and resources to do personalization. It is the easiest thing to do. Easiest thing to do, but we must do it. The second thing, which was a lesson for me, and I think about 7, 8 years ago, like I said, I'd spent 30 years with American Express, out of which last 10 years was the CEO, and the last 2 years actually, 8 years, so 10 years was the CEO, and last 2 years I was the international head for marketing for American Express, which was a big role wherein I had responsibility for about 30, 35 countries. One thing I learned was that, and not only in India, this was happening globally. We were the primary customer, which is, typically when you give a credit card to somebody, you give what is called a free add-on card also, right, to the wife or to the partner or to the son, whoever they decide. And the pricing is all bundled into one. So we were always addressing all our communication, all our literature, all our brochures, everything offers to the primary customer, right? We were doing it forever. And then always, like anything, you would want to look at the click-through rates, open rates, the conversions, and what kind of offer take-ups have happened. And we realized that, while we were bringing so much to the fore in terms of strategic alliances, offers which are, whether it's at the DLF Emporio, whether it's at BKC, a good offer here and a good offer there, which would appeal much more to the spouse. But the spouse wasn't even getting to be aware of the offer, because the primary customer was so busy in his life, day-to-day life, that he would never even, we all get like 100 emails a day. How many times would you want to open an email? So the frequency and the velocity, and all science tells us, aapko agar, you want to put a post on Insta or you want to put a post on LinkedIn, you should be putting it on a particular hour, on a particular day, because that's when you'll get the maximum mileage for it. It's correct. But similarly, like in this case, we realized that, the spouses, which is because 90% of our card member base was males and basic primary customers, but each one of them had an add-on, which was their partner, which is, let's say, a wife in this case, and only 10% were female basic customers. So the 90% of the partners were not even getting addressed by what we thought was very targeted offers we were providing. So that's when we decided about 5-6 years ago that every communication that we are sending from our desk will also be addressed to the partner, right? So every piece of communication that was going to a Mr. X would also go to the Mrs. X. And suddenly we saw, it was amazing, we saw a 7 to 8% increase in response rates, in CTRs, open rates, and offer fulfillment rates. So a small thing like that can make a world of a difference. And since then, it's, of course, become, religion and something we do I've made it a point from day one to do this at RedBeryl, and I feel good about the responses we get. Moving on to the next point is all about exclusive access. The word access is, something which is so important, more so in a country like India. It's just like the word entitlement. A lot of people feel entitled to, even irrespective of how rich they are, they would want to be made to feel special. So telling them that they have exclusive access to something is, you would win the case very easily with them if you tell them that, you have access to something which others do not have. So telling them that you are special, this is coming to you by invitation, or this is rare, and those are the things, those are the points of conversation or discussion, or whether it's written or otherwise, which help in a very big way for customer engagement. So, and it creates, effectively what it does is, it creates a sense of privilege. Moving on, consistency. Now, you can do a lot of these things, but if you're not consistent in, and consistency is not only omnichannel, it has to be, ubiquitous, it has to be across every channel, right? So a coherent message must go out across all platforms, whether it's digital, whether it's print, whether it's, in person, in store, it doesn't matter. But the message should be consistent, and the same messaging should go out everywhere. And very importantly, in today's day and age where we are living, which is social media, that drives our lives, right now, even while I'm talking, maybe 60% of you may be on Insta or on some other form of browsing through something in the digital world. Visual impact is very, very important, right? So why did Facebook die? Effectively, it's, died a death, and Insta has taken on, because Insta is, the attention span that a person has is 30 seconds, 40 seconds. That's why the stories and reels and all do very well. People do not have the time for long winding conversations or long posts, which may feel good to the people who are posting, but the person on the other end who's the recipient is not interested. They're interested in something which is to the point, and they're more interested in the optics or maybe the visual aspect or impact of that. Engagement and interaction is very important, and again, that goes without saying. If you're not engaging well with your customers, you're losing out. And you have to look at, and this is becoming more and more commonplace, not only in India, but across the globe. The companies who are succeeding are doing what is called community seeding, wherein they are getting hold of the community, they're taking inputs, right, and building a product bottoms up. They're actually asking their customers day in, day out, what is working and what is not working, and how can they make things better, and that makes customers feel that much more engaged. Using influencers, we all know, there are many influencers out there, but doing and using them effectively, again, the right influencers is very important, who know what they're talking about, and you also have to see the other associations, what they have with other, with other products that they are in the same vein influencing, to expand your reach and engage with your target audience. So that was also, to my mind, very important. Experience-driven content. If your content takes precedence over everything else, but if it is not experience-driven, you'll not get to where you want to get to. And make it, use immersive technologies like AR, VR. That's a bell for me? Okay. 2 minutes. And I'll move very fast. I was anyway on the last point. So cultural relevance. So everything, take into account things like, showcasing a brand's commitment to sustainability, diversity, and social responsibility, and crisis management. In a service industry, you have to be available 24/7. You could be handling a crisis anytime, but you have to be there when the customer needs you. So if you strategically manage all these things, luxury brands can easily elevate their customer experiences, make the customer feel good, and create a long long-lasting brand perception. And the last piece where I'm going to end this whole thing is that, and close this discussion, is that whatever I've said so far is not going to be possible without a good leadership team. You could have, one person cannot do this. You need to create a team of performers, a team of doers, a team of who's very, very passionate, but most importantly, who are highly, highly flexible, adaptable, understand the customer needs, and in closure, who have excellent written and oral communication skills. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Give it up for Manoj sir loudly, please, ladies and gentlemen. Aur thoda zor se.